Ah.
Check this out. Check this out.
Welcome to Optic Tea with LonnieB, the online talk show which connects you with people all over the world.
Go ahead and be great.
Hear about their successes, failures, and the journey taken to bring them to where they are today. Now, let's listen to Optic Tea with the host, LonnieB.
Good evening, everyone. It is me, LonnieB. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you all had a wonderful week, getting ready for Lovers Weekend. As we approach the Valentine's Day weekend, if you're here in Texas, the weather is actually, it's cold here. It's very cold. So I am truly loving it. Those who know me know that I love the cold air. So thank you everyone for joining Optic Tea with LonnieB. Tonight we have an awesome lineup for you. We will actually be speaking with Thad and Amanda of Total Grace Solutions and Deandra Fleming, aka Andy Rose of Market Resilience Girls Esteem Institute. And of course, my side partner, my sidekick during the show, none other than my awesome producer, Fabian Jackson. So welcome, everyone. You're in for a true treat tonight. So be sure to tag a friend, text a friend, tweet a friend, and tell a friend about Optic Tea with LonnieB's night show tonight. We are actually streaming Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live. So please, if you have not subscribed to Optic Tea with LonnieB YouTube channel, please do so. And when you do, leave a comment in the comment section that you did subscribe, and you will enter your chance for a free gift that will be sent out to you as the winner of the drawing. So those, I think, are all the housekeeping rules. Today, we're actually going to be instituting something different today. And we will be putting in a quote, a scripture, before we start the show tonight. And tonight, the scripture is Psalms 29, 10, and 11. May the Lord bless his people with his peace. So, thank you so much. So tonight, I would like to introduce our first guest for tonight. It's Thad and Amanda Randolph. They are of Total Grace Solutions. They have they are marriage counselors as well as coaches, and they are awesome and dynamic. I will not tell you much about them because I want them to share with you who they are, the journey that they have taken, some of their successes and failures, so they can actually empower you just in case you're thinking about giving up, whether it's a business or whether it's actually in your relationship, or if you just need some coaching through your relationship. They are the two that you need to connect with. So none other than Thad and Amanda. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
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 We're glad to be with you.
Yes.
Awesome. So I have actually given you an awesome intro. I think so. I'll pat myself on the shoulder.
All right.
But
Sounds
please tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
I am Thaddeus. This is my wife, Amanda. We've been married 34 and a half years. 34 and a half years.
Yeah.
Yes. We both are retired military. We did 20 over 20 years in the Army. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. She's from Florida. And we now live in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And we have two children, one son who's 26 and another son who's 11.
Soon to be 12.
Soon to be 12.
Yes, the 12 is a character, but your oldest one you sent off to school today, right?
No, that's the youngest. The youngest
one
went back to school today.
Yeah, he's doing
Oh, wow.
Doing hybrid learning.
Oh, he's not happy.
No, actually, he was ready to go.
Yes, he
and
was.
we were ready for him to go, too.
Yes.
Okay. Well, good. So, Thad and Amanda, so tell us a little bit about your ministry, Total Grace Solutions.
Well, Total Grace Solutions was birthed from our desire to want to help couples strengthen their marriage relationship, or even those that are seriously dating and considering getting married.
Yeah.
And what we found throughout the years that we served in the military and throughout our years of being Christians, we've always, I think, helped other couples, younger couples, strengthen their relationship. And so it's something that God laid on our hearts as a part of our ministry for us to continue to do. And so the idea for Total Grace was birthed many years ago, many years ago, probably about 15, 18 years ago. It was put in us for us to do the ministry, but we never branched, and I want to say ministry business, but we never branched out really and did that until 2020. 2020 came along and it gave us an opportunity to really sit back and look at things in our lives and what we were doing and say, what's really needed. And so throughout the process of 2020, we made some very, I think, divine connections. I think God hooked us up with the right people, and you were one of those people that God hooked us up with. And through those divine connections, we were able to manifest what God put in us many years ago.
So you said 15 years ago, and it wasn't until 2020. So what was the pause?
Military. Serving in the military. One, I didn't retire until 2010. Thad retired in 2008. And throughout the military, you move quite often. And we were moving probably about every 3 years or so. And so we would get in a place and we would get settled and we would join a church and we would function and operate in that church, serving faithfully and still doing the things that God called us to do. But as far as starting the business, that was something we really didn't see ourselves doing. We knew what God had called us to do and what God had called us into, but doing the business side of it wasn't something that we really saw ourselves doing until last year.
So the business side. So basically you're saying before last year, you were just offering your services to those who came to you, came in contact with you, and you felt led to actually minister to our coach.
Okay.
And also through our church, we started a marriage mentor program at our church, and in the process of doing that, couples will come to us, and so that's how some of it got off the ground, and we started doing that. But we'd be doing it some years before that, but that's when things really began to come into fruition when we started the ministry at church.
And when we started at church, focusing only on the couples that were in the church that we were in, but then we started getting requests from individuals outside of the body that we're a part of. We were getting referrals, and so through those referrals, we said there's a need, and so we said God has put this in us to do, so why not just go ahead and do it?
Awesome. So earlier you stated that you actually will coach or counsel those who are married, those who are looking to get married. So why would one who's looking to get married come to Total Grace Solutions, or even they're dating?
I think for those that are seriously dating and contemplating marriage, and they want to be able to have a good foundation for their relationship, you can come to Total Grace Solutions, or you can go to someone else that may provide marriage coaching, marriage mentoring, or even premarital counseling. And one of the things that we found out, even though we've been married for 34 and a half years, we really didn't get any marriage counseling before we got married. Through the military, through the process that we had to go through, we had to, kind of check the block on certain things. But when it comes to really getting in-depth counseling, getting to know one another, the things that make us kind of tick or quirk, then we didn't get that. And we find that a lot of couples don't actually seek marital counseling, premarital, or engagement counseling or coaching prior to getting married.
I think also what one of the unique things about us, I think what we offer is we have 35 years of marriage experience, 34 and a half. Correct that. 34 years. 34 years of good times, bad times, in between times, and all of that. We have both served 20 years in the military, so we know what it's like to be deployed and separated and all of that. And we offer from a spiritual standpoint and also from a practical standpoint. So not only counseling from a spiritual standpoint, but from a practical standpoint as well. So I think those are some of the things I think we offer that is unique about us from the experience that we have. And so I think if people will come to us and seeking counseling, they're going to get a unique perspective from a lot of different areas.
Awesome. And for you all to have been married for 34 and a half years, you said you had the spiritual and the practical. I really would like for you all to share with the listening audience about how you all met and how you actually got married. So I think it's more about the marriage, how that actually happened, because it wasn't the traditional, it wasn't the normal, it was really unorthodox and out of
Yes, it was very, very unorthodox. Very, it was not the typical marriage. We call it dream.
No, it wasn't the fairy tale type.
It wasn't a fairy tale.
Yeah, it wasn't fairy tale. When Thaddeus and I met, I was already involved with someone, and I was also engaged to this individual. And when we met, I really wasn't interested in him, but we became friends through the process of time. We became friends, and then we started dating. But the dating period was short, the engagement period was short, and then the marriage came. Both of us were new Christians at that time, and the person that I was involved with really wasn't interested in being a Christian, and I did not want to be in a relationship with a person that was not a Christian. And so when Thaddeus asked me and we began dating, he was a Christian, both of us newly Christians. And so we said, we're going to do this thing. We're going to be in it for life. It's not something that we're going to get into and get out of real quick. But just to give you a little backstory on us.
About, we were both in the military. So each one of us, our unit, our commanders had to approve. It had to go from one commander to the next commander to the top. It had to go up the chain of command for us to get married, to approve of the marriage, because we were both, even though we were both U.S. citizens, we was in the military, but we were in another country. We were in South Korea. We were stationed in South Korea. So it had to be approved, all of that. Then we had to go see the chaplain. A lot of boxes we had to check. And if we hadn't even got to the relationship part, it was just a lot of bureaucracy boxes that we had to check in order to get married. And then I think the last one we had to take a train down to the headquarters for them to sign off on the paperwork. Then we went down to the Seoul, Korea City Hall. We took the paperwork they had given us. They stamped it, put all these stamps on it, then they said you're married.
Wow.
So,
that's definitely not U.S.
No
But it saved you a lot of money.
It was like
it
was like the justice of the peace. No ceremony. We didn't have any of that, and we were married.
June
20th, 1986.
Yeah, through the eyes of Korea, when you go to the Korean City Hall and you get that paperwork stamp, you're married in Korea. But we had an additional step that we had to take, and we had to go to the U.S. Embassy and have them also stamp our paperwork, then say it was received and send it back to the U.S. And once they accepted it and stamped it, we were officially married in the eyes of U.S. law.
Oh, wow.
Very
unorthodox.
Before we met any of our family members, before we met anybody, before I met her family, before she met my family, hey, we were married.
So you do have a lot of, because I'm pretty sure by the time you came back to the States, there were some happy people and some people who had question marks. So, of
Yeah.
course, um, you all have a podcast, and I'm pretty sure that you'll actually talk about that. So I'll leave that for the podcast. But there are some questions that are out there. One is from Miss Rochelle Carlisle. She asked, "What is the difference between counseling and coaching?"
Yeah.
The difference between counseling and coaching, I'll give you the counseling aspect first. Counselors are licensed clinical social workers or either licensed clinical counselors, whether it's in family therapy, whether it's in marriage, in relationships. You go through and you get board certified to become a counselor. For coaching, we are different in that we focus on the coachee, the person that we're coaching, doing all the work. Let me back up a little bit. Counselors pretty much prescribe what their clients are to do. They may give them some buy-in to do things to perhaps correct deficiencies that they may have, but coaches really give the client the wherewithal to identify what it is that they want to work on and what it is they want to improve and how they're going to go about doing it. And so when we're working with couples, what we tell them is that we are not licensed counselors. Although studies have a master's in pastoral counseling, we do not counsel from that standpoint where you could say that we are like board certified to counsel, but we do coach from the perspective of getting the input from the people that we're working with.
But it is a biblical counseling. It is a counseling from a biblical standpoint, a spiritual. We call it spiritual counseling.
Awesome. You segued into my favorite question to you. You already know that what I'm about to say. So, because you do biblical counseling, do you or do you not counsel those couples of the LGBTQ community?
That's a good question. That's something we hadn't thought about at first, but go back to it. Just to go back a little bit to answer your question, we started off just thinking about offering to married couples, then to married couples. Then we kind of looked at it and said that, well, there may be some people who are cohabitating, or maybe some people that may need it as well. So we expanded to just say couples. We don't say just for married couples, but we say to couples. We offer our services, and then we thought about it, and we decided yes, we would offer it to those in the LBGT community. We have not done it yet, but I would definitely we would definitely be open to doing that. We would just let them know some of the ground rules up front if they're okay with the service that we offer, and if they're okay with that and they can go that way, we'll definitely do that.
Awesome. And I know we've had that conversation. You know, my philosophy is that two people is not the issue.
No.
Yes.
It's the actions within the relationship that actually causes the issues that arise within the relationship. So that's awesome to hear. So I know that that's good, because I know that there are some who are spiritual that they will not, because of their personal preferences. So thank you for actually sharing that you do open your doors to anyone who is a couple, regardless of the state, because the issue is not their personal situation, but it's actually underlying issues within their relationship. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
There is another question from Desmond Patterson, and he asked, is the friendship just as important as wanting one another to be a Christian?
I'll let you answer.
Yes, friendship is important. I think where you it's where you start. I think by the fact of us both being Christians, that is a good starting point. I think that's a good foundation. But I think the relationship has to go further than that. And you just can't build on that. You're gonna have to become friends. You're going to love each other.
You gotta like each
You
other.
gotta like each other. so, so you can't just. I think building it for us, starting out as Christians and starting with that foundation was important for us. I think it's been our bedrock. It's been our foundation to both be Christians. But I think we've learned along the way, and we've uh, come to realize that love is important, communication is important, friendship is important. All that is definitely important part of the relationship. Liking each other as well as loving each other, because there may be some days that I love you, but I don't like you today.
And it's okay to say that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. It is. It's okay to say that. And I'm not sure exactly, what perspective the question was asked from. Whether the person that you're involved with, you start out as friends, you're a Christian, but the other person is not a Christian, does not profess Christianity, and how that comes into the relationship. And we've worked with some couples where one is a Christian and the other one is not. And when they're not, we ask them if they're open to learning and becoming more knowledgeable of what being a Christian is. And if they say yes, then we'll work with them from that standpoint. And if they say no, we can still work with them. But you have to understand, for the one that is a Christian, there may be some issues that come up later on in the relationship, because you may want to raise your children a certain way if children come into the relationship and the other person may not.
Awesome. So everyone, you have heard it. Thad and Amanda from Total Grace Solutions. If you need to reach out to them, how does one reach out to you?
They can reach out to us through our email. You can contact us at totalgracesolutions@gmail.com. You can also go to our webpage, which is totalgracesolutions.com, and you can sign up to receive any new information or updates that we have posted for events or postings that we do to our webpage. You can also find us on Facebook at Total Grace Solutions under Thad and Amanda Randolph, or Twitter. Twitter is Total Grace SOLU1, and then Instagram is Total Grace Solutions.
Awesome. And so events, you have something tomorrow. Am I right?
We have an event tomorrow. It's called language. It's the language of love.
Yes.
It's the language of love, and we're gonna just be talking to couples and talk to whoever comes on about the language, the 5 love languages. It's a book from Gary Chapman. We're gonna be talking to what does it mean? 5 love languages. What does it mean? How does it apply to your relationship? And how it can help you better learn your spouse's or your significant other's love language. What does that mean? So we're gonna have some fun with that. And tomorrow at 7:30. So join us on. I believe we're gonna be on StreamYard, Facebook Live. So join us. This is gonna be a great time. We love to have you with us, learning about the language of love.
Yeah.
Now, do I have to be married to come?
No.
I'm
You
not.
don't have to be married.
I'm not.
You don't have to be married. You might want to. Hey, you might want to do some homework for research for a future relationship. I guess.
Yeah, sure. So, Thad and Amanda, also, before we get out of here, talk to us a little bit about your podcast.
Yes. We launched a podcast last year in September. It's called the Thad and Amanda Let's Talk podcast. And you kind of helped push us out there too with this.
Yes, she did.
I did. But it's been a blessing. And we've gotten great feedback on the subjects that we've covered so far. We've covered the 2 skills that we believe couples should have, which is assertiveness and active listening.
Yep.
And we've also talked about the 5 best practices for communication.
Yeah.
We're going to also be posting our love story on our podcast to give you a little bit more background on our story, how we met and how we got married.
Awesome. Thank you, Thad and Amanda. Do not go anywhere. When we actually conclude, we'll actually go to commercial break. Then when I come back, everyone will hear from Deandra Fleming, aka Andy Rose. And then once we conclude, I'll bring you back in with Deandra for you all to offer final comments and remarks. And in the church world, we'll give the benediction. No,
Right. All right.
Thad
All
and
right.
Amanda, thank you so much. It has
Thank
truly been
you.
a pleasure. I will talk about your promo that you have during my commercial, so I don't think I forgot about it. I hadn't
Okay.
forgotten about you,
Appreciate it.
because they are authors as well, audience. So, and they actually have several books that they have put out. It is something that you do want to actually take part of and actually read. So I'll actually come back and talk about that. So that and Amanda, again, thank you as always. It's an honor to be in your presence. You all have extended so much to me, more than you know. But it has been almost a year relationship that we actually have been together, working together. So yes,
Yeah.
I did push you out there, but
Yes, you did.
I didn't let you fall.
No,
We
no,
appreciate it.
we
But I'm
definitely.
known for that. I'm known for that. So I'll take it. But once again, thank you. Listening audience, you are tuning in to Optic Tea with LonnieB. We will go to a commercial break. Please be sure to tag a friend, text a friend, tweet a friend, and even actually share this show with your friends and ask them to tune in. Also, please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once you do, come back into the comments of Facebook and enter in subscribe to enter yourself in a drawing to receive a free gift from LonnieB. We'll be back in a moment.
Inhale confidence and exhale doubt as Andy Rose makes it plain and keeps it real when it comes to knowing who you are, whose you are, and who is yours. As a resilience coach, author, and successful entrepreneur, Andy speaks truth and life into your success so that you can achieve more. Welcome to Unbought, Unbossed.
And we're back, y'all. I just love that commercial. I'm back here just bobbing and dancing. Those who know, I can dance, I can hold the beat, but I'm excellent at chair dancing. But once again, welcome back. You are tuning in to Optic Tea with LonnieB. Just a few announcements. Commercial plugs in. Tonight is being supported by the Women's Confidence Tour that's presented by Capital Publishing. The conference is February the 20th, 2021. There is a platform of women who are dynamic speakers that you do not want to miss. You have absolutely no reason unless you have something planned, because this event is absolutely free. This is their 4th year going into this conference. It is held by none other, Sunray. You please take a look at it. I will post the flyer in the Facebook chat. Also, I'll share it on all my social media platforms. So if you have nothing to do on February the 20th, please be sure to attend the conference. Remember, it's absolutely free, so you have no reason not to attend. So up next, everyone, you've seen her the few Saturdays ago. We did a sneak peek of who you will be meeting on tonight. Deandra Fleming is a author. She's a speaker. She is a coach. She is a politician. She is an advocate. She is a humanitarian. She is, I don't know, just everything that deals with education. So if it's dealing with education and it has dollars and the dollars make sense, then she is the person that you would want to listen to. Also, you'll actually get to hear more about her. But before we do, I would like to bring on Deandra Fleming, aka Andy Rose. Hello, Andy Rose. We can't hear you.
Is that better? Hey, LonnieB, how are you? Okay. I'm here.
How's it going?
You know what? Blessed and highly favored. And I can say favor ain't fair.
No, it's
But
absolutely
I'm
not.
grateful that I'm grateful when I can get it. And so therefore I have to be a testimony and tell everyone else about how good it is.
So tell us this testimony. Tell us, do tell.
You know, oh man, so much has happened, right? Like, God manifests things inside of us, and it's up to us to take it and to bring it to life, right? We have to bring it to fruition. However, I think sometimes we get stuck and stagnant. And so at some point in time in my life, I got stuck and stagnant, but I knew he had implanted a dream inside of me, right? And so when you're not operating in the wheel, you get this push and pull and this tug of war, and the storms come, and then you have to lay out on the floor and lay prostrate. Yeah, that's because he's dealing with you. And so my testimony is that God was dealing with me. And so when I got to this place and a place to say, you know what, I surrender. I was able to hear clearly, right? And so I had to put the dream and put the plan in motion. But I knew I wasn't walking by myself. And so as I kept going, like I wanted to hear what I was supposed to do, because I wanted to make sure I was giving purpose to his plan. So I found this, this girl's esteem, right? I found the baby of saying, hey, you are that girl. Where was this for you? Why didn't you get it? Who could you have become faster if it was given to you, right? Because in God's timing, but the pace in which we move is our own, right? We may not be getting what we are, but we should be working while it's day, and we keep that pace. So if I was pacing myself with the information that I know now, oh my God. Yeah. And so my thought is, then what can I do if I give that to other girls, right? Like if we plant these early, who do they become? So that's my testimony, right? Like I'm here before you because Girls Esteem is alive and well and thriving because there are so many people looking for what it was that we wish we had.
Absolutely. And so I have actually been on part of this journey with you, I think 4 years ago. So I've actually seen it evolve, and I've seen it go from so many plans, paths, journeys, hills, valleys, bumps in the road to where you are now. And I must commend you because Girls Esteem, I believe, is truly what you are meant to birth along under the Mark of Resilience umbrella. We are going to talk about Girls Esteem, but let's give a rundown of things that you actually have going on. So the first thing I want to do is say congratulations to those who do not know, because we never talk about this. Deandra Fleming is actually also a DeSoto, Texas Independent School District School Board trustee who has actually announced her candidacy for running again for the upcoming election. So congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
I do commend you. That's a hard seat. It's a hard job. But I have seen the things that you have done in the community in which we live. And I must tell you, thank you from a DeSoto ISD parent who is very thankful for the things that you have done, not only for the kids, for the community, but also for the teachers who are sometimes forgotten about.
Absolutely.
So I want to definitely say thank you. So that is one thing I wanted to say congratulations. Also, from the Saturday that we actually we'll go back to that. So what else do you have in the pipeline? Because you've had some other accolades that you've actually been awarded lately.
Right. So looking back, entering into this entrepreneurial space, I was asked to come and be to be a business coach for women, underrepresented women, right? And that's pretty much probably every woman, but just looking at the space where they haven't been given an opportunity and just being able to come and pour life into them, to coach them, to talk about mindset, to talk about wellness and what it talks about, what it means and feels like to be a boss and creating a plan and executing that plan. So I'm excited to have had that opportunity, and it's still coming up. It is an incubator. And anyone in the United States can actually sign up and be a part of it, right? Cohort 3 starts in September 3rd, and that is the She Means Business Incubator. And then also just looking at business-wise, right? I think you know, they always say you can be a jack of all trades and a master of nothing. But I am a firm believer that if I learn every little thing, I don't have to pay people more money to tell me what it is that I don't know.
Absolutely.
So at some point, just learning about the information can get you in a better space. And so being able to go ahead to business owners.
Awesome. So earlier I stated that I've watched you go through the ups and the downs and the hills and valleys. What were some of your successes and what were some of your failures, and as well as the realizations through this journey to where you are today?
Successes, you know, if you actually, I do an exercise with girls and doing my vision board. If you just lay a timeline out, right, and you put in all the spots of when you had highs and lows, our minds would tend to put down everything that was bad, right? Like we automatically go and we can remember all the bad things that happened to us. And so I had to challenge myself to put myself in a position where I had to put down everything that I thought was good, that looked good to somebody, and that actually benefited me, right? And so when you start to do that, and if I went back in, what I found was that I no longer could see the bad things that were happening were allowing more good things to happen, more good things to come forward. And so with that, I think my success is just really getting into a space where, hey, I love me. I love me authentically. I love my black skin. I love my body. And that's who I am when I show up in a space. So the success was learning me. A lot of people don't take time to learn themselves, to know thyself, and to be able to trust yourself with yourself. Because one time, you know, many times we get caught up in other people's opinions, right? Other people's opinions. We always say you can't control what other people think of you. However, what I found in my failure and my success was that, you know, people are not going to like you, right? You're going to be the villain in somebody's story. There are people who don't like me. And you know what? I must say there are times that I don't like me. So we agree. We're in agreement. But that's where the work comes in, right? Like, because I spend more time working on myself about the things I don't like. And so then that means I'm able to open myself up and allow people or give people permission to judge me. I give people permission to have an opinion, to not like me. Because when I do that, I blossom. And so that criticism that people have, so when you say, what's my success and my failure? It was being my own critic, because being my own critic and being able to tell my own critic that, no, I have more. I have more. I have more, but I am, because no one else can define me but me.
Absolutely. So from that, what you have learned, and I know prior to, we've talked numerous times and just talking about how you've actually come to the point of birthing Girls Esteem. When you take all that together, now let's talk about, what does Girls Esteem have to offer that young girl who, you know, I look at it so many different ways, because I actually know what the esteem means, but I actually put the prefix of self-esteem in front of it as well. So talk about Girls Esteem and how was that birth out of you, from you as a young girl to you as the woman you are today.
So Girls Esteem stands for Girls Identifying Real Life Solutions Through Esteem, as you stated, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And so I think one day when I woke up, right, and I have a daughter of my own, and so I realized, I'm looking at my daughter, I'm saying, she's the polar opposite of me. How did I create such a great being? Because I know the work inside of me is a day-to-day struggle. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, but why does it seem like she just has it together? Like, what is it that she received, that she saw, that she didn't take the path that I probably would have taken, right? And so as I look back and I started to look at the things that I had put in place as to what I was telling myself, what my own self-talk was, what past experiences that I had, because I had a lot of challenges. I had adversity. I had trauma in my life. And then I looked at my daughter and I said, some of those things as a parent, I shielded her from, right? So there's still some conversations that we're going to have with her at 21 because we never wanted our children to go through what we went through. However, we know some of those things allow that resilience to actually happen. But it's not so much allowing her to experience it, it's having the conversation about what it could be if she experienced it. And so that's where it was, okay, Deandra, I had a single father who was incarcerated for 15 years, the love of my life, right? my father. And so to be without him for 15 years put me in a space with not only me, but my mom. And so I was always having this adversarial relationship of who loves me more. And so going into this angry black girl mode, that's what I call it, the ABG. When they say, oh, you're rocking your neck and you're snapping your fingers, it's okay. Because see, that angry still means ambitious. That angry still means awesome. So in the sense that I'm angry, what I was not doing was allowing myself to feel. Because we know that we have to walk in and we have to beat this person, or don't let people see you cry. You hold your head up and you don't break down. Well, that may be true in front of your enemies, but at some point you have to be okay with releasing that feeling. And so I was talking to my daughter and she put all this pressure on herself about being the valedictorian when she was graduating from high school. And I kept looking, I'm like, who put this pressure on you? Did I do it? She said, no, you have an expectation. The pressure comes from me. And so I said, well, wait a minute. So me on the other side of being an angry black girl getting put out of school, and you told me what I can't be, I showed you what I can become, right? Before you. However, my daughter had the thought, the mindset that she had to be better, right? She put the pressure about where she's going to go, who she's going to be, the anxiety that came with how she was showing up in a space. So you had two different girls. And I'm like, but we both wanted the same thing. Like, we both wanted to have acceptance. We both wanted to be loved. We both wanted to experience emotions without feeling like we were the victim, or we were weak, right? We were weak. And so we put on this tough skin and we go out and we get beat up and we come back home and we still keep it on at home, because at home they expect you to be super emotional. So I think when I looked at it, I just said, you know what? We got to get the girls fast. Girls are getting suspended. Black girls make up 16% of the girls in the United States, yet they represent 43% of the girls of out of school suspension. 43%. They're 6 times more likely to be suspended than their the white female counterpart, and 3 times more likely than the white male counterpart. So you're looking at this epidemic that's growing as to saying, hey, it's okay for a police officer to handcuff an 8-year-old black girl. Oh, it's okay for you to turn a black girl over in her desk and think it's okay because she rocked her neck and she was speaking back to you because you didn't like it. But what is not okay is to adultify our girls. We think just because they have a voice and they speak with authority that we are allowed to speak to them as if they were the same age as us. They are children and they should be treated as children. So I wanted to make sure that I had to get to those girls faster, right? Because I needed, for one, let them know that there's nothing wrong with you, queen. There's nothing wrong with you, gorgeous. There's nothing wrong with your melanin. There's nothing wrong with when you stand up. But however, let me show you some tools that help you to navigate through this a whole lot faster, so that you're not beating yourself up on one side and walking through and putting on baggage of the world telling you who you are to become, bag lady.
Bag lady. That is awesome. And I mean, I've heard this over and over, and every time I hear it, I'm still captivated because I was at AGB. We've talked about that. I was her, and I was the one who was told, you're not going to be this, but look where I am today. I'm in my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose. Have I deviated? Absolutely. So I am ecstatic. Whatever I can do to assist girls' esteem, please let me know. I'm pretty sure you will, but please let me know, as I have always supported you and will continue to support you because I believe in your vision and your dream. We do have one question for you before we wrap up, and we'll talk about your podcast, Andy Rose, the Oakland girl. This question comes from Desmond Patterson. He is on it tonight. He says, I know it's never too late to find who you really are, but do you feel that's the biggest hurdle for women to climb that has them stuck in one place because it takes so much experience and effort.
Woo, Desmond, you were right on time. So one thing I actually I get excited about is when you can talk to a woman, because every woman has an axe girl within her. And so you said, what's an axe girl? The axe girl is A for adversity, C for challenges, T for trauma, and S for stress. And so guess what? We have that girl that was never dealt with. And so we learn to tuck them down. We learn to, put on a show when we go out. And so when you say showing up and knowing authentically who you are, yeah, the work is real. The work is real, but what doesn't help is when people come in and try to tell you who you are, right? Like, you are this person, but they take it as a negative. So what you find women doing is they're probably actually agreeing with you on the inside, but their criticism hurts like crap. It hurts, right? And so what we do is we, as a resilience coach, is walking through women in that space to accept the criticism. Like, you got to be okay to show up. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, I'm a board of trustee. I put myself out there every time. And I know every social media, they may have something to say about how I looked, how I said it, how I directed it, and you have commentary. So when women can get to a space and they become okay with the criticism, and they can deal with not only their actions, right? Whatever is keeping that's an action, because we got to deal with their feelings and thoughts. Remember, your feelings your thoughts are controlled by your feelings are controlled by your thoughts. And so when you think it, therefore you are. And so when a woman says she wants to lose weight and she's not taking the action towards that, it's not about the action, because she may inherently feel like she needs to lose weight, but her feelings are not directed by her thoughts. And so what she tells herself every day when she shows up in her authentic self and being proud in who she is, that is more work that allows her to be open to more criticism. So we have to navigate those waters. And some people, if it hasn't been touched, it's hurtful, it's harmful. So you have to have a coach. You have to have somebody that walks you through that backs it up, and then you have to be willing to do the work, because again, the better version of you is waiting to come out.
Awesome. You have given a plethora of information about girls' esteem. One of the things I do want to let the listening audience know is that she does have Girls Esteem for young girls, but she also has the Girls Esteem Institute, as well as for the moms of the young girl. So there's an individual mom and daughter, and then there's the mom and daughter that can go through the coaching together. So I am really ecstatic. I do know that when you went on that Saturday till today, I think you've sold out for one session. So so it is known that there is a need. And so I am so excited for you. Let's talk a little bit. We got about 2 minutes to talk about the podcast. Talk about Andy Rose, Unbought, Unbossed.
So Unbought, Unbossed, one of my heroes, right? Shirley Chisholm. But and so taking that motto and bringing it into the podcast, and the Andy Rose is A-N-D and then I and then Rose, and that means and I rose. I remember it by a phoenix, because out of the ashes you shall rise. And so when you go through the fire, no one can ever touch you. Why? Because you understand what the flame feels like. And so in my podcast, I talk about just keeping it real. Like, what are we missing as women? What are we missing as wives? What are we missing as mothers? Who are we? And so being able to have that authentic conversation about life, right? Like, I love talking about anything, as you can see. However, I want to be intentional about what you hear, because everything that someone gives you can make you feel good and give you that little endorphin shot. However, if you can't take action, the words were meaningless. And so I walk you through not only listening and receiving it, but giving you actionable steps to take in order to get to your best self.
Awesome. So I will tell you, she has a lot, but she is very knowledgeable, and she has the resources, and she has the data to back up. I remember your first campaign, your slogan was "Data don't lie," and it doesn't. And as you have actually educated the DeSoto community in regards to data as it relates to our education system, we now see the data does not lie. The problem is that we don't pay attention to the data. So I truly thank you. I'm excited. Stay there. We are actually stay there and tell us, how can one find out about everything that DeAndrea Fleming, aka Andy Rose, is doing?
So if you go to girlsesteem.com, it'll take you to the Girls Esteem Institute, as well as you can click on all the other links there because it gives you everything about me and about the podcast and all the things, the events that I have coming up. So it's girlsesteem.com, and that's GRLSESTEAM.
Awesome. Thank you. And I will tell you, I wish that there was something like this when I was coming up. I can't say I probably would have been any different, but I would have had a different outlook on some of the things that I've made because LonnieB is just LonnieB. So,
right? Like that's who you choose to be. And as long as you're happy with who you are and when you show up in the space, hey, it's our own work. It's our own work.
yes. And I will tell you guys, and ladies, she has coached me through some things. So, and I will tell you, if you don't want the harsh truth, or if you want the harsh truth, Andy Rose, Deandra Fleming is one that you should reach out to. Actually, when we're actually going to now bring back on Thad and Amanda, and then I'm actually going to speak with both of you about some of the things that you have coming up, as well as some of the things that you have to offer tonight for the listening audience. So, Thad and Amanda.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Look, she's taking my plug. Welcome back. So, I want to personally say thank you to the both of you for coming on tonight, sharing about Total Grace Solutions, sharing about Girls Esteem. If anyone that you know missed it tonight, please always tell them they can actually go to your page and view it. They can go to Optic Tea with Lonnie B's page, Facebook page to view it. And always they can go to the Optic Tea with Lonnie B YouTube channel. So Thad and Amanda, you both are authors that who have written several books. Your books are out there. Camouflage Sisters, Camouflage Girls.
Camouflage Sisters.
Okay, so Camouflage Sisters. In 60 seconds, tell us about Camouflage Sisters because there's several sequels to it.
Yes, there are. Camouflage Sisters is a group that was visioned by Lila Holly. She and I served together in the Army, and we use writing as a platform to share our voice for our service, to tell stories about our time in service.
Yes.
The first book is the Camouflage Sisters, The Black Woman's Military Story. I'm kind of paraphrasing the title. And then we've got 5 other books that are also out. But you can find them on our webpage, totalgracesolutions.com, or you can go to amazon.com and search up Camouflage Sisters.
Awesome. Now, Thad, you know I wouldn't leave you. So actually, can you talk about the collaboration that you both did and then your collaboration? Well, actually, you both did your collaborations together, right?
Yes, we did. Our first collaboration was Finding Joy for the Journey. We did that collaboration. I think you were part of that. It's a book about finding joy in the journey when you've had some adversity in life, tough times, how you came out of that, how you were able to bring yourself up out of those tough times. So finding joy on the journey. We all can say that we've had some times we had to find joy on the journey of life. And that's the first book. And the other book was called Rich Relationships, Our Marital Code to Oneness. It's a collaboration we wrote with Gail Renee Beers and 17 other couples. We each wrote a chapter. Our chapter was based on expectations. And that's one of the things that for us couples concerned that we find that that's one of the biggest, biggest hurdles that couples have to really navigate is finding out what is expected of me in this relationship. Asking each other that question. We find a lot of people don't get around to asking each other or get around to asking what is expected of me. These are my expectations of you. And so a lot of couples don't get around to that. So we wrote a chapter about expectations. Great chapter. Great information you'll find in there. So finding joy in your journey and Marital Code to Oneness. There's 2 books that are out there. You can find them on totalgracesolutions.com, our webpage, and they're available for you there as well as Amazon.
Awesome. And I'll actually do this plug for you. For the month of February and March, they actually will be offering 30 for 30. Is that right?
Yes, that's it.
30 for 30. So actually, and what that 30 for 30 is, I'll let you all plug it in.
Okay. 30 for 30 is you get both books for $30. And if you buy both books for $30, we will offer you a 30-minute free consultation for a couple or individual, for personal coaching or couples relationship coaching. We will give you 30 minutes or a free consultation for if you buy both books for $30. So it's 30 for 30. So
Awesome. Thank you.
You can go on the website and get more information.
Okay. And I know that you all have tons of information on your website because I do it.
Yeah.
But also, they do have a lot of events that will be coming up as well. So please go to www.totalgracesolutions.com to gather any information that you need, or even if you just want to request a consultation to just chat with them, or you may have an event that you would like for them to be a speaker at. So please reach out to them. As they are always available, and you can definitely find them on their social media platforms. Andy Rose.
Yes.
Girls Esteem is the hot topic of tonight.
Yes.
What are we offering for what are we offering for hot topic? What are we offering for Girls Esteem?
Well, it is a hot topic. So it is a 6-week institute, and so the normal price is $150. If they sign up online today or before next Friday, they will receive $50 off. So the institute is now $100, and that includes your journal, your registration, and 2, not 1, but 2 30-minute one-on-one sessions with yours truly, Coach Andy, and 1 with the parent, with the guardian as well. So I'm about transformational change.
Okay. And now when will that the next session be starting?
The next session starts March 4th. That's a Thursday.
Awesome. Everyone lock in that date, March 4th, Girls Esteem Institute. She's giving you $50 back. She's giving you $50 back. Please be sure to sign up. That's her book. So it actually has a glare. Tilt it a little bit more so you can see it. I've actually seen it. You got everyone, and it is phenomenal. It says, "You say, but I say. You say I'm ugly, but I say I'm beautiful. You say that I'm nothing. I say I'm something. You say I'm nobody. I say I'm somebody. So you say, but I say. So whatever you say doesn't matter." So thank you so much, Thad and Amanda. Tomorrow night is the conference. So Thad and Amanda has their conference tomorrow. You know, you guys are on mute if you're talking to me. I can't hear you.
We just unmuted ourselves.
So tomorrow is their conference. Let's talk
the language of love.
Yeah, because I kept saying the love language, but it's the language of love. And remember, that is for anyone. So if you are married, single, thinking about getting married, thinking about divorcing, whatever it may be, splitting, don't do it before Valentine's Day. That's my birthday. Don't break my heart. Please attend the conference and save yourself. Save yourself, everybody. But as always, once again, thank you all. It truly has been a pleasure. Sit there. As always, I allow my sidekick, the one and only Fabian Jackson, to have some words for tonight. And I know, because I just sit there and I see that smile and I see that smirk, and I know that her little mind's going. So Fabian, what do you have for us today?
Just listening in as usual, always excited to be a part. I love this because it's building as a family, basically. You got the couples that's going to get their coaching as well as the counseling part of it. And then, of course, for the young girls, I mean, we really do need that esteem going, because as we all know, the image that's out there, having the girls thinking they're supposed to look a particular way, sound a particular way, and it just goes on and on and on. So this here is the combo package, what I will call it. This is a best combo package ever. And it's, I mean, there's nothing else to say for it, because they spoke very well about what they're able to promote. And as I always say, we are put here on this earth for a reason. We're like that pebble in that big body of water, a ripple effect. So I'm just grateful to be a part of it. It was a pleasure to meet both you, Thad and Amanda, as well as I Rose. I love it. I love it. You all have been awesome. So I hope everyone that's out there listening, you take advantage of what they're giving away.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Fabian has said everything. I heard partnership collaboration. I don't know what you all will do after tonight, but I'll share your
Right.
information if you'd love me to. But Fabian has said everything that I needed to be said tonight. Dad, Amanda, DeAndrea, thank you. As always, thank you for tuning in to the listening audience to Optic Tea with LonnieB. And actually be back next week as we have 2 more individuals who will be coming in and we'll be sharing as well. 2 weeks, we will actually be back here, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, you can always reach me on any social media platform, and you can always reach the guests that were on tonight. So remember, smile. You owe it to yourself. Have a good night. Happy Valentine's Day, and take care until we meet again.
Thanks for watching another episode of Optic Tea with LonnieB. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Stay connected on and off the show by following Optic Tea with LonnieB on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.